So the year 2025 is fast approaching and we are almost through with that of 2024. And you know, when it gets to this part of the year, creative designers are expected to create stunning and amazing design. And that's the need for this tutorial today. Hello everyone, my name is Blaben and welcome back to another exciting tutorial with Blaben Solutions. So in today's video, we are going to look at how to design this amazing 31st watch night service flyer. But before we kickstart with the video, this is Blaben once again, and over here we turn everyday inspiration into stunning design. So if you are new to the channel, do all to smash the subscribe button and check the bell icon to all so you don't miss out anytime I release new videos. And if you're already a part of this amazing family, thank you so much for showing up once again. And please do well to leave a like on this video and show some love on my other videos as well. Having nothing more to say, why don't you join me in the studios of Blaben Solutions and let's start with design work using Adobe Photoshop. These are the resource files that I'm using for today's design. So there they go. It's a very simple design, yet captivating and very mind-busting. I don't know where I got that word from, but that was what came to mind. So let's quickly jump right into Photoshop. Now the first thing we are going to do is to put in the dimensions for the banner or the poster that we want to design. So actually I need a square banner, a square size banner. So I'll be going with the 4 by 4 feet banner. So in this case I'll be working in feet, so 4 by 4 feet. And you know, Photoshop doesn't give you the unit of measurement in feet. We have pixels, we have inches, we have centimeters, millimeters, point and pica. So so I'm going to be working in inches, and 12 inches makes a feet. So I'm going to multiply 4 feet, that is 4 by 12, in order to get my feet. So 4 times 12. You know, Photoshop also gives you that flexibility to do your calculations over here. So I'm just going to hit on the tab key and automatically I have this over here. So I'm going to choose, I'm going to click 48 as well. That is it. And the resolution is going to be in 300 dots per inch, right? Yeah, it is called dot per inch. So the resolution is going to be in 300 dot per inch. But because I'm not going to print this and it is for tutorial sake, I'm going to reduce the resolution to 150 so that I could save disk space. So I think everything here is okay, but we need to, you know, rename this to 31st watch night. So I'm going to hit on create over here. So as we always do it, the first thing we need to do here is to work on the background design. So I'm going to come into my adjustment field over here, click on it and click on solid color, and I have a hexa code already, that is 010721. that is it for the solid color. I'm going to hit on OK, and the next thing is to also create another, you know, solid color. But before I do that, I'm not going to create a solid color. I'm going to use the brush tool to work on that. So quickly, I'm going to create a new layer on top of this solid fill that I did, and I'm going to be selecting my brush tool amongst my tools over here. So this is the brush tool, and the shortcut key is B for the brush tool. I'm going to increase the size of my brush tool over here. I'm using the open and square bracket on my keyboard. So check your keyboard, there's an open and square bracket on the keyboard. That is what I have over here. And when I come into my color panel over here, I'm going to click on this and I'm going to be selecting this, but then I want a lighter part of this blue. Okay, so I'm going to be using something this way, and that is it. I'm going to be clicking outward and just let's make a click in the center part of this design. So, and that is what we have now. Let me click on the move tool now so that I can either click and move my brushed solid color over here. So I'm gonna hit on Ctrl T to resize this. So I'm just going to increase it to a sizable amount that I think works best for me. So I'm just going to increase this way. Hit OK on my keyboard. So the next thing to do is to head on to my resource folder, and I'm going to drag this image over here. So I'm going to click on the Alt key so that I could drag this image so as not to distort it. So I'm going to be placing this image over here. I'll be adding a layer mask to it, and I'll be brushing some portions that I don't need, and I'll be brushing them off. If you don't understand how to use a layer mask, I have a video of that, a full tutorial teaching you guys how to use the layer mask properly. So it's up here, do want to check it out. Before I worked on the layer mask, I'm going to come into my blend mode over here and choose some. Let's go through and see what works best. Then probably we select that. Okay, this is okay, and probably reduce the opacity of my color that we have over here. Very good. Now I'm going to be placing the image somewhere. Ctrl T again to scale this. Make sure you are holding the Alt key so you don't distort the size of it. So I'm going to be placing this image over here, and let's add the layer mask to it. So coming down to this part of the panel, we have the FX, we have the layer mask. So click on it and let's apply a layer mask to it. I'm going to select my brush tool, reduce the size of the brush tool, and what I'm going to be doing is to brush a portion of this side this way. Now if you are brushing and it is not working, check the the foreground color over here. The foreground color should be black and that of the background color should be white. So to get black and white over here, make sure you hit on the D key on your keyboard. So the D key would return the foreground color and the background color back to default. And to switch between those colors, you just use the X key on your keyboard to switch there. So let's try this. I'm going to change this color to this. We're going to have a gray. Yes. Then I'm going to click on the D key. You see it is now back to default, black and white. So to switch, always make sure the foreground is the one on top and the background is the one beneath. So the foreground should be black and that of the background should be white. So I'm going to hit on the X key on the keyboard, and I'm going to have the background set to white and the foreground set to black. So with this, you can easily wipe the portion that you don't need on the design, as in on the image that you're working on. And the other thing I'll be doing is to the other resource files that I need to also bring in. So this one, for instance, I'm going to hold on to this and bring this one over here. I'm going to click on this and paste this guy, and we are going to be choosing blending option as well. So let's go through the blending options and see which ones we think probably would work best for us. I think the linear light would do, so I'm going to go with linear light. Okay, so I dropped the curtain, I dropped it beneath the the image background and the brush color that we just created. So I have it there. We have the solid color as the background color, then I have the image over here. So quickly I'm going to click on the add vector mask as well, select the brush tool, and I'm going to be wipe this portion away that I don't need. Ctrl T, let's select this layer, not the layer mask. Ctrl T, and let's resize this to have this gentle feel that we have over here. Basically it's like we are done with the background creation. So I'm trying to reduce the size of the image to see if that will actually work. But I think this is okay for me, so I'm going to be leaving this as it is over here. Now the next thing I'll be doing is to bring in the logo of the church, and this is the logo, so I'm just going to hold and drag the logo in here. I'll be leaving it as it is over here, and I'll be placing it this way, the logo, that is the logo. So probably you can reduce the size of the logo this way, and I'll be typing in the name of the church, that is Gracious Land International. So I'll be selecting this first text, and I'm going to my character panel and reduce the size. So I'll be selecting the move tool, but this color should be in white, not black as we see it to be. So I'm going to actually decrease the leading over here, so dragging this to the negative as in the left side. So what I'm going to be doing next now is to click on the text layer and that of the logo, and come over to the link icon over here that I have here. Click on it so that when I mistakenly move this, it goes along with it. You understand? So I'm going to group this together this way. Then the next thing I'm going to be doing is to type in the present. So I actually don't like the linear dodge that I have. I think I like color dodge. So I did experiment this at the background. So I'm choosing a color dodge for this, and with a curtain image, I'm going to Control T and resize it. So make sure you hold your Alt key, and with what I have here, you can see that it is projecting a purple color on these layers that we have over here, and that is something cool. I didn't bring in any purple color, but I'm having that feel, and that is cool, right? Good. So I think with the logo, I'm going to reduce the size of the logo a bit. So I'm going to be creating a shape layer. So let's come to our rectangle tool over here, and I'll be creating a rounded rectangle, not with a black background, but with a blue background. So I'll be placing this guy over here. I'm actually going to type in the 31st blah 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 inside. So I'll be making the edges of this shape round. Okay, now I'm using I'm using Photoshop CC 2019. That is why I have these features. So if you are using a backdated version, probably like the CS6 version, you're not going to get this feature that I'm talking about. Make sure you make sure you click on the edges over here. If you can't find this, actually come on to the Windows panel, the Windows tab, and go to properties. Okay, so this properties, make sure the properties is checked, and once it's checked, you should have this thing over there. Okay, so with our shape layer, I'm just going to go and use as in click as round, drag to the highest number as round as I want it to be. So something like this is okay. And I'll be reducing the opacity of this. In fact, let me reduce the fill of this to 0. Right, good. And I'll be applying a stroke to this. Right. So now that I've applied, now that I've turned off the fill to 0%, I'll be applying a stroke to the edges of it. So let's go to our add layer style option over here, and let's choose stroke. Then when it opens, I'm going to be applying a stroke. I think I like the 11. I like what I see. Outside stroke, yes. Or let's try an inner stroke and let's see. I think I prefer the outside. I think this is okay. Let's hit on OK as we see it over here. And quickly, I'm just going to be typing the 31st night. So with this 31st night, I'm actually using a font by name Big Shoulders, right? So that is what I'll be going with. So that is it for the 31st night, blah blah blah. And I'm just going to select everything, excluding the as in this rectangle shape. I'm going to exclude that one, but I'm going to select everything that I have in there, and hold shift, select everything, make sure I link them together so that no one goes out of line. Control G to group them. So I'm going to say this is a theme text, theme, that is it. So that is in between, as in place on the shape. So now what I'll be doing to the shape is to distort the shape a bit. I'm going to warp the shape a bit, as in create that curvy like look over here. So with my shape selected, I'm going to hit Control T on the keyboard, right click on the shape and choose warp over here. So make sure you select the center of this part and click and drag it inside this way, and I'm going to do that for the bottom. So that is it. I just did some small twisting to this shape, and we are good to go. So that is it. I'm just going to hit on the move tool. If it doesn't look well, forgive me. So I can actually group this as and link these guys together, then we can resize them. So I'm gonna I've done the resizing. I'm gonna be placing this guy over here this way, and there you have it. Now the other thing I'd want to also do once again is to bring in the speaker. So this is the speaker, Reverend Apostle Faustin Atipo. So I'm gonna bring my speaker over here, click and drag this guy this way, and I'll be placing him over here. Okay, but I think it will be advisable to place him beneath that of the theme and the shape. So I'm going to do that. That is what I've done. And let me increase the size of him again. When you take a look at this side of the image, you realize that the edge is showing a bit. So I'm going to select my layer mask, go onto my tools panel and click on my brush tool. Then I can just wipe a little bit of it away. Okay, let's hold on to the V key, the move tool, once again. Then with my speaker over here, I'm going to clear some portion of this portion. I don't need it, so I'll be clearing that portion off. So with that layer selected, I'm going to add the layer mask to it. Make sure we've selected the layer mask. Head on here to the tools panel and select your brush tool. Increase or decrease the size of your brush tool, and let's wipe that portion off. Now what I'm going to do next is to create a shape here where I'm going to be placing his name on. Now I'm going to be selecting the rectangle tool over here, and I'm going to be creating a shape as this, a shape as this, and I'll be placing it over here. I'll be applying a gradient fill to this shape. I think I already have the gradient, so head on to the add layer style, click on gradient overlay, and go through the list. I think I have the gradients something over. Okay, so this is it. It's actually on the left side of the gradient. The hexa code is B00AC6. B, that is B for Ben, 00AC6. Hit OK, and that on the right, the color for the right is also 072574. 072574. That is it for the gradient overlay, and I'm going to hit OK. And what I'm going to be doing next is to convert this to a smart object and apply what we call the Gaussian blur to it. So with my layer, as in the rectangle layer selected, head on to the filter tab over here, click on it, and let's go to blur, and let's choose Gaussian blur amongst the list. So depending on what you like or how you want it to be, just choose to increase or decrease the radius bar over here. And if you are done, hit on OK. Make sure your preview button is checked so that you can have a preview of what is actually happening whilst you increase or decrease the radius. So I'm going to hit on OK over here, and that's okay. So I'm going to hit on Control T once more, and decrease the size of what I have over here. The name is width, so with Reverend. So with this, I'll be using a font by name Cinzel. It has that luxurious look, so I prefer using that font style. And make sure I decrease the leading over here, and I'll be placing the name over here. And with the width that I have over here, I'll be changing the font style also to something stylish. So okay, I think I like what I chose. The name is Adelia, that is the name. And I'll be placing this guys over here. So that is it for the name. So I'm going to select all the layers that I just worked on and link them together, then finally group them together by hitting Ctrl G on my keyboard. Then rename this to the name bar. Now the final thing I would want to do here is to work on the date, time and venue. So quickly, I'm going to select a rectangle tool, and I'm going to draw a rectangle shape over here this way. So I'll be placing this shape over here. The shape is too big, so Ctrl T, as in it's too lengthy. So I need something halfway this way. Okay, and let me reduce the size. Okay, then I'm going to apply the gradient effect that we just did. So go on to the add layer style over here, and let's apply the gradient overlay that we just did. Hit on the OK button, and we are good to go. So quickly, what I'm going to be doing over here is to add another shape. So I'm going to use the same shape over here that I have. Ctrl J to duplicate the shape, right? And I'm going to hit on the Ctrl T icon, hold on to my Alt key, select either the right or left part over here, then click and drag inside. So I'm going to have this shape becoming something smaller. Then I'm going to do same for the top icon, as in top part. So I'm just going to drag this over here. So at the end I have this looking, but I'm going to turn off the effect that I applied to this layer. I'm going to turn it off, and I'll be selecting a white color. I don't like the black that I'm seeing over here, so I'm going to be selecting a white color over here. So Ctrl T, let me resize that of the size this way a bit. It's too big, so there you have it. This is okay. So I'm going to select both, Ctrl T, and I'll be shifting these guys up a bit. So I think I want to work on the gradient. I think instead of the blue, why don't we select something darker, or probably reddish. Alright guys, so this actually brings us to the end of today's video tutorial. But to finally get the feel and touch that we want, this is what I would actually recommend. So this is actually the the takeaway that I would be sharing with you guys. So after you are done with the design and everything is superb, what you do is to first of all click the first layer amongst all the layers that you created. Click on the first layer and click Ctrl Alt Shift E on your keyboard and wait and see what happens. So it merges everything that you've done into a very nice shape, what do you call it, image for you. So this is a non-destructive image that it has created for us. So what we are going to do is to right click on the image and convert this to a smart object. So you realize that we would be applying some effect to this layer and not to the entire design that we've done, but to this layer alone. Now that we've converted this to a smart object, that means everything that we do will be non-destructive, as in we can let go of it or choose to go with it if we solely want to, right? So what I'm going to be doing here is to come onto the filter tab, that is after we've applied the smart object option to that. Let's go to the filter tab and let's choose the camera raw filter. Or let me take you through some small technique that you can do to make your image pop. What we're going to do is to add a little bit of exposure to this image, add a contrast. Yes, we're actually adding a contrast to this image, decreasing the highlight, so increase a bit of shadows. I'm not going to do white and blacks. With the texture, I'm going to increase this texture a bit, and I'm going to increase the clarity a bit as well. The clarity, there you have it. Then when we come to the saturation, I'm going to decrease the saturation a bit. So the final thing we'll be doing here is to come to detail. Okay, click on the detail and let's sharpen this image a bit. So I'm going to increase the sharpen to about, I think 40 is okay, and I think that is that for the touches. And let's go ahead and click on OK. Okay, so now the effect has taken place. Now I want you to take a look at the after and before. So this is the after of it. So this is the before and this is the after. Before and after. So you could actually tell the sharpness and the popping nature of the image. So guys, this is a little thing I would love to share with you, and I hope you really enjoyed the tutorial. If you did, please do well to hit the like button, because doing that tells the YouTube algorithm that most people enjoy my videos, so it recommends it to other people as well. So you can also assist the channel by sharing this video to your other friends whom you think might interest them, and do well to let me know what you think about this video. Should I do more of this, or do you think I did something which I could have done better? Just go ahead and share your thoughts in the comment box, and until I come your way next time, there is still Blaben Solutions, and never stop creating. I'm out.